suburb of Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. For employees of this brand new plant, arrival at work starts with a discipline course, a rigorous discipline course.
Don't waste your time, hurry up. Move forward a bit, make a straight line. Here, surprise.
The bosses are Chinese and they impose their methods.
Last time, I already showed you how to do it. Do I have to say it again?
Every morning, these Ethiopian workers have to bend to a series of quasi-military exercises.
Arms at your sides. To the right. To the right. To the right. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2.
They work for the Chinese company Huijin, the largest shoe manufacturing company in Ethiopia.
We'll revise the slogans. Punctuality.
It's integrity.
Arriving too early.
It's wasting time.
Being late.
This is bad.
Being late.
These slogans in Chinese, the 5,000 employees had to memorize them. However, their exemplary behavior is not enough for managers.
You have to learn the right techniques if you want to earn a good salary.
Contrary to the factory's slogan, admonitions are translated into Amharic, the country's language.
Our company looks only for people who learn quickly and well, who want to work.
Everyone gets a kick out of it, even the managers in red.
A manager must be demanding.
Otherwise, you are not good leaders.
Is that understood? That is our company's culture. It helps the team to stick together and to thrive. They are taught essential qualities to work well and earn a good salary.
This lesson made in China lasts 15 minutes. It ends each day with the company's anthem. Chinese companies like this one are currently in dozens in Addis Ababa. In only 6 years, Ethiopia has become the new tiger of Africa. Brand new buildings, business district, modern transport, with 10% growth per year, one of the highest in the world. Ethiopia is an emerging country. Here, the number of millionaires keeps increasing. Today, the country is attracting foreign investors, seduced by its favorable land, as well as its incredibly cheap labor.
Here, it is much cheaper than in China.
As a result, craziest projects are mushrooming, like these hectares of vineyards planted by a Frenchman in the middle of desert areas.
10 years ago, nobody wanted to come because it was said that this country was too poor. Today, it is being set in
Ethiopia
motion.
is also the new breeding ground for top models. Like the star Leia Khabib, thousands of young girls dream of a career as a model.
Ethiopian beauty. It is a blend of very fine features and a beautiful amber skin.
The other advantage of this country, with a Christian majority, is its breathtaking scenery. More than 900,000 tourists are attracted each year by these unique sceneries in the world, like this acid lake or these 13th century churches. There is something for every style, from the comfort of the big hotels to extreme tourism in dangerous areas under high surveillance. It's a Kalashnikov to protect you. One never knows. It's wild. I never imagined being so close to hyenas. In 2015, the country was elected best tourist destination on the planet. Yet Ethiopia is surrounded by hostile neighbors, countries marked by repeated wars, years of famine and drought. How to explain the Ethiopian miracle? What is it really hiding? Investigation into Africa's new giant. In Addis Ababa, growth is often meteoric. In 15 years, this town has become a land of opportunity where you can make a fortune from nothing. This is the case of Tadeusz Balit, 53. This former hairdresser now worth several $100 million. The man is proud of his success and his country.
There are at least 50 buildings under construction here. There's one here, another one there.
Look at here, you have another one. Look at here, coming up another one. Look at here.
Here again, another one. This is an
It
incredible
amazing
time for Ethiopia. In just a few years,
Now,
today, look, there are highways, there are trams, buildings, shopping malls, cafes, restaurants, residences.
shopping malls, you have coffee shops, you have restaurants, you have residents.
Unfettered development that attracts businessmen from all over the world.
Hello. How are you?
A few minutes from Addis Ababa, here is his first complex built 14 years ago. In this nature reserve, the tourists are like secluded from the world, comfort in addition. Swimming pool, lounge, spa 1001 nights, gourmet restaurants, a luxury at 400 euros per night, which is 10 times the average salary of an Ethiopian. The hotel is often full, so Tedious decided to expand. He had a dozen new suites built of 100 square meters.
Is everything going well for you here?
This morning, the businessman is not satisfied. The tiles have been badly laid.
I do not want words anymore, I want results. Look, here, I'm not happy.
It is far from perfect. On both the construction site and business, Tedious is unstoppable. Look at that there, that's not right. It's the same over there. It's not good. This is all your responsibility. It is not serious. I want you to fix this. If you don't, it's not gonna go well. I'm checking the final details. We have high-profile clients coming in. I don't want them to complain. I want them to come in and be like, wow, this is a great place.
Tedious is demanding with his employees. Here, he doesn't receive just anyone.
This is the president of Mozambique. That is President Kagame of Rwanda. This is the president of South Africa. There, the president of Burundi.
Politicians, multinational company bosses, like the head of Boeing, and even a former dictator who used to visit.
It is President Gaddafi. When he was alive, he used to come to Ethiopia. He used to come here, he'd close the whole hotel and pitch his tent right there, and he would go hunting with the boat.
Tedious started investing in Ethiopia 14 years ago. At the time, he was the first businessman to build a tower in Addis Ababa. A 5-story glass and steel building, a symbol of his success. He opened the largest beauty salon in the country, 100 square meters with hair salon, manicure, spa, cocktail bar, and restaurant. Today, the multimillionaire has 3,000 employees and works as a family.
This is the marketing and sales department. This lovely young lady is my cousin. This is my wife.
Is it important for you to work with your family?
Yes, absolutely, because all family businesses are successful all over the world.
The businessman owes his success mainly to his audacity and his great self-confidence. In his office, his portrait offered by a Jamaican artist.
It's all about me. There is my mother's name, my father's name. Even my moustache talks about my work, of what I am. It is written. He is exemplary, strong, cultured. Here, it says that I left at 16 as a refugee in Sudan. My whole story is told here.
The story of Tedious Balit is worthy of a novel. At the age of 16, he fled the Ethiopian communist dictatorship, then flees to Sudan. He works on a farm there for $2 a month. At 18, thanks to a scholarship financed by the church, he left for the United States, Chicago, and Boston. At the age of 27, he opened a hairdressing salon, then became the first black man in the city to own a spa. He got married, started a family, and saved money. Rather than stay in the United States, Tedious will have a good idea. return to Ethiopia, invest all his money there. A winning move far beyond his expectations.
This is a view of the whole island.
Today, Tadiwos is one of the largest fortunes in the country. It has even bought an island in neighboring Djibouti. $7 million for a 30-year lease. It is in this paradisical place that he wants to build the most luxurious hotel in East Africa.
These villas will have a breathtaking view of the beach. It is a dream come true. For me, this is a blessing from God. I am very happy and very proud.
Once a month, Tadiwos embarks on his yacht. A luxurious setting to go to his island and monitor the progress of the work.
My island is over there. The first time I saw, I fell in love with it.
A strip of land barely 5 kilometers square, located only 1 hour by plane from Ethiopia. Michaëlle Island, this wild island will soon be the paradise of natural luxury.
Welcome to Michaëlle Island. Here, it's like taking a hot bath. There is an incredible beach where you can walk. There are fish of all colors. It's just fantastic.
The Paradise Island is known for its diving spots. It is visited by a few tourists.
Is everything okay with you here? My name is Tadiwos, and you?
My name is Harold. I'm from Germany.
What about you?
Klaus, nice to meet you. I'm also from Germany.
I own this place, and I'm going to build a hotel there soon. I hope you like it.
Do you expect many tourists here?
Yes, I have high expectations. A lot of Americans come to this country. There are also thousands of foreigners and many Ethiopian tourists. That is more than we can hope for.
On the building site, the workers are only at the foundations, but the multimillionaire is already dreaming of his hotel. He wants to build 54 presidential suites and 220 villas of more than 200 square meters each.
This is the bedroom.
This will be the bedroom. All rooms will have a sea view. There will be rooms on stilts with direct access to the water.
Each of the rooms will be rented at least 1,000 euros. With this hotel, Tadiwos' dream will come true. Be the first Ethiopian at the head of one of the most luxurious palaces in East Africa. If he got rich that fast, it is thanks to his country's exceptional growth. More than 10% last year, 10 times more than in France. Ethiopia is a goose that lays golden eggs, which attracts the world's largest groups, and of course, the French also want their share of the cake. 150 kilometers south of Addis Ababa, amidst this desert areas, a private property under guard. Behind this barrier, an amazing scenery, never seen in the country, vineyards as far as the eye can see. They belong to the French group Castel, a Bordeaux-based company, now the third largest wine producer in the world, which decided to bet on Ethiopia.
This is the last plot we are harvesting.
Here is the CEO, Bernard Coulais, 64 years old.
It's good. Excellent.
How does this grape taste?
Muscat.
As good as in France?
Much better.
For him, Ethiopia is the promised land of wine. On these high plateaus, ideal climatic conditions, sun, and a lot of rain, available land for a pittance. Here, land is rented for 70 euros per hectare per year, not to mention the tax exemptions and cheap labor. The average Ethiopian earns 30 euros per month.
It's true that labor is cheap. We hire more people for the harvest here than would be the case in France, or even in Morocco or Tunisia.
The French company invested 300 million euros in the country.
Did we finally get the labels?
For the operation to be profitable, it must now export its product all over the world. The hardest part is still to come. Now we have to convince foreign customers of the quality of Ethiopian wines. For this, Bernard Coulet decided to organize a visit of his domain.
Thanks, welcome at the Castel Winery.
Today, he receives a dozen representatives of major brands' hotel and restaurant industry that can make big deals with him. Chinese and European traders, and also invited Thaddeus Boluen, the multimillionaire who already serves his wine in his establishments.
The Eldorado wine are bottled, and now we are bottling the rosé.
Is Thaddeus Boluen an important partner?
Yes, he's an important partner because it is symbolic. But we try to associate ourselves with what is very symbolic of Ethiopia,
Is
which
wine
is
new in
successful.
Ethiopia?
Now everyone is starting to enjoy wine. We can't even keep up with people's demands. The white wine is fantastic, the red wines are great. The demand is growing, orders increase every year.
The highlight of the visit is tasting time, the moment of truth for Bernard Coulet. He has chosen to offer a taste of his latest production, a very sweet rosé, which targets a very specific clientele.
Cheers. Cheers.
Thaddeus seems convinced.
Great. This rosé, it is the kind of wine appreciated by women in Ethiopia.
Bernard Coulet did not choose this wine by chance. With the buyers of the day, he hit the nail on the head.
This rosé is completely crazy. It is perfect for the Taiwanese market because there are a lot of women there. This sweet taste, they love it in Taiwan.
Well then, anyone who doesn't like it?
The operation is a success.
This country is becoming of interest to the whole world. 10 years ago, nobody wanted to come because it was said this country it's because it's poor that it has growth potential. And I think it's starting to
Castel may
happen.
have convinced its first foreign customers. The French company already produces 1.5 million bottles per year in the country and expects this number to triple within 2 years. Ethiopia, a goldmine for entrepreneurs who want to produce at low cost. So much so that even Chinese companies are relocating here. Every morning from 7 a.m. in Addis Ababa is bubbling. In 30 years, the population of the capital has tripled. 3 million Ethiopians are now living in this megacity, a real niche where people rush to work. While most are still in transit at Julien, the largest shoe manufacturer in Ethiopia, the employees are hard at work. Discipline, profitability on the walls, the signs set the tone. The company has only been here for 4 years and already produces 2 million pairs of shoes per year. Cheap designs for women to Europe and the United States.
Be careful. These chopsticks are not straight. It'll warp the shoes.
To produce quickly, the Chinese have recruited and trained 5,000 Ethiopians. A majority of young people they can exploit to the full.
It is very advantageous to come to Ethiopia because labor is really cheap.
It is especially much cheaper than in China.
Here, the average salary is only 30 euros per month. That's 10 times less than in China. But employers are no less demanding. All day long, Ethiopian workers are under close surveillance. The two souls must be identical. A dozen Chinese are in charge of inspecting everything, including the controllers themselves.
Stay here and inspect it. Keep an eye on him. Go Chen, go Chen. Look, they put too much glue. This is nonsense. Here it is too wide, and the closure is badly placed. Everything has to be redone. Jian, come and see. This one, send it to the wash shop. He's so stupid. Him, come here.
Employees work a minimum of 48 hours per week. They start at 7:30 a.m. and can be at work. until 9 p.m. with only a 30-minute lunch break, not a minute longer. Output is even monitored in real time by the manager.
We control production every hour. How's that? Is that good or bad? That's average. Yes, average.
According to him, Ethiopians are working at half speed less than the Chinese workers.
The problem in this factory is that the workers are not focused enough on the job.
They do this, they look left and right. It's a good thing we make shoes and not cars.
If the Chinese are complaining, production in Ethiopia remains very profitable. They'd also benefit from a total absence of labor law. Here there is no need to complain, unions don't exist, and speech is monitored. To ask the workers about their working conditions, we are required to be accompanied by one of the leaders, an Ethiopian trained in China.
Are you happy with your work?
She is shy. Do you like your job?
It's a good job.
What about you?
Yes, I love my job.
How many hours do you work a day?
12 hours a day.
Do you like your job?
Yes.
How much do you earn a month?
Go ahead. You can answer him.
50 euros.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
No employee dares to give his opinion on camera. During a moment of inattention of the person in charge, an employee will slip us his phone number. He says he wants to talk to us. The next day, about 10 kilometers from the Chinese factory, we have an appointment with this employee. He doesn't want us snap his house. He wishes to remain anonymous for fear of being fired. The young man, whom we will call Daniel, came from the countryside to look for work. He has to rent this 9 square meter room without a bed or toilet.
This is the place to wash. Here, I do my dishes. Here I have my little window to sleep. I have to lie down here.
It's been a year and a half since he was hired in the Chinese factory. With a rent of 20 euros per month for a monthly salary of 30 euros, he can't get by.
The problem in this factory is that the pay is very low, at least in relation to the enormous amount of work we do. And we can't argue. You can't say anything in this factory. It's anything but a democracy. The slightest mistake and you get fired, otherwise you have to pay fines ranging from 5 to 15 euros, deducted directly from our salary. The bosses get angry very quickly, and they even throw shoes at your face. It's really hard to work with them. I'm glad the country is developing, of course, but I think the workers are being shortchanged. We are the ones paying the price.
Daniel says he wants to look for another job elsewhere, because he feels like it's on his back, the Ethiopian workforce, that is being built the country's great leap forward. In 10 years, poverty has fallen by 34%. Today, a middle class has emerged. 22 million Ethiopians, more than a quarter of the population, work, consume, and seek to become owners. To meet this new demand, entire cities are being built. Multi-family buildings, individual houses, even luxury villas. 20 kilometers from the capital, this is what it looks like, these new neighborhoods for wealthy families. Here, it is a bit like the Beverly Hills of Ethiopia. Eventually, 20,000 people will be able to settle there to enjoy a Western lifestyle. Teddy is one of the contractors who designed these luxury villas, soon to be marketed.
This is one of the largest houses we have. It is worth 370,000 euros.
Here, we are far from the traditional habitat, a 500 square meter space with fireplace, moldings, and quality materials.
This beautiful floor was made here in the country. This marble was imported from China, but is from Greece. On the ground floor, the living room and its 2 kitchens. There are 2 kitchens, a modern kitchen and a local Ethiopian kitchen. We are at the crossroads of the 2 cultures. This modern kitchen is for cooking American dishes, for the American way of life. There, the second kitchen is used for very spicy traditional Ethiopian dishes. Upstairs, 3 bedrooms, including a master suite of 40 square meters. This is the big room. All the big rooms have their own dressing room, and of course their own bathroom. There's a jacuzzi, here's a steam room, in which space is provided for a television and a telephone in case of need. I mean, this is the dressing room. 18 square meters is a good size, that's what it takes.
18 square meters, twice the size of Daniel's apartment, the Chinese shoe factory employee. Just 10 years ago, affording such a luxury in Ethiopia was unthinkable. However, today, Teddy is overwhelmed with requests.
We've already sold 980 homes, and all without advertising in newspapers or elsewhere. As you can see, it's really a growth market.
The majority of these owners work for foreign companies or have set up their own businesses and rely on the country's growth. To get by to make a fortune is the dream of millions of young Ethiopians. To achieve this, more and more young women are banking on a booming sector, modeling. Ethiopia has become a breeding ground for top models for brands around the world. That evening, in a hotel in Addis Ababa, a fashion show brings together the small world of fashion. Sarah Mohammed is a former model who worked in Paris 10 years ago. Today, she has her own modeling agency. Her mission is to promote Ethiopian beauty all over the world.
This is a very important event that enables me to spot
new models. Please welcome designer Merer Blojita.
Sarah is a talent scout. For future shows, she must recruit about 20 models, with perhaps the star of tomorrow.
I'm looking for the girls with the most beautiful shapes.
I think I spotted 3. These women have incredible legs.
To find the perfect match, Sarah doesn't just run the parades. She also organizes castings.
So, number 25 to 26.
That day, she summoned to her agency about 50 girls. Most of them come from modest backgrounds and have a head full of dreams.
I love this job. It's great to be the ambassador of a clothing or cosmetics brand.
I really want to become a model.
They all hope to follow their elders' footsteps. These Ethiopian models who became stars, like Laya Kabid, a top model with an international career, spotted in her high school in Addis Ababa. Or Anna Gatena. With her boyish hairstyle, she was the musa by Valentino and Christian Lacroix, icons for these apprentice models.
For those who don't know me, my name is Sarah Mohammed. I wanted to tell you about some important events. We have 3 parades coming up. For these shows, we want perfect girls that are truly international standard and truly perfect. Now we'll start the selection.
2 Italian designers are on the jury. They came to spot the girls who could make a career in Milan.
Among Ethiopian beauties, there is a very interesting mix between delicate features with a beautiful amber skin. Since the 1980s, with the advent of Naomi Campbell, black beauty styles really appeal, really a lot in Italy.
Sarah is looking for very specific physiques. She needs models for a fashion show in Ghana. It needs generous silhouettes.
As you can see,
She really has an African face type.
You see the line of his neck.
It is very long.
in the back, she has beautiful full hips. It's perfect for a fashion show in Ghana.
That is the perfect for African fashion show.
For her other exhibition in Ethiopia, she prefers the physical of this young girl.
This one, she's not easy.
See this one?
When you
She
turn
is
her
very
back,
thin. She has a
see,
narrow back.
From here up, she is very skinny.
Her face
too,
is
I told
typically
you this morning
Ethiopian.
that the Ethiopian face is
Small
small,
eyes
big
with a
eyes
big and
this
beautiful mouth.
beautiful lip.
Stand up straight, please.
The former model pays attention to every detail.
We really need to correct his posture.
Your shoes are all wrong.
Put your hand on your hip.
You
Walk slowly. Don't jump like that.
At the end of the casting, Sarah selects 12 girls, but she is not completely satisfied. The future models will have to work.
1,
2, 3, you
three,
come.
nay,
4.
4.
You have a face as beautiful as a diamond, but when you put your head down, we can't see your beautiful neck. You have to raise your head so we can see it. You're scared, I can tell.
Very scared.
Yet you have the perfect body. You're the prettiest. You. You have to work out a lot.
Because if you gain too much weight, it won't work.
And it's gonna get ridiculous.
Have you found all your models?
Yes, I think so. 75%, I would say.
Claudio, on the other hand, spotted a young girl whom she thinks could march in Italy.
The problem is the way she holds herself, but she really has a beautiful body and face. For me, she's the best of the group. I really like her.
In Ethiopia, it is not easy to find candidates for modeling. The weight of the Christian religion is very strong, and families reluctant.
Families don't want their daughters out late at night, after 10 or 11 p.m.
They say it is not right. It's not right, that kind of thing, you know? Besides, if they go out on the street with that outfit, they're going to be really insulted because you see, this one is low cut, this one is open.
People will say, we are Ethiopians. We must respect our culture.
We're decent. If they go on the street like that, people will throw stones at them. That's how it is here.
These prohibitions do not prevent the sector from booming, because Ethiopian models are sought after all over the world. But Ethiopia is not just a magnet for fashion professionals. For the past 10 years, the country has been seeking to promote its most hostile landscapes. Synonym for desert, famine, drought, these vast areas are today the playground of tour operators. Last year, 900,000 tourists came to discover these extraordinary landscapes. A setting of inestimable variety and wealth, with UNESCO World Heritage monuments. Like these incredible 13th century churches dug into the rock. A unique heritage in the world that tells the story of one of the oldest Christian countries in the world. With the industry, tourism is the second pillar of the economic miracle. Today, to grow even more, the country is banking on a new and very special type of stay, of extreme travel. In Michaëlle, near the Eritrean border, a group of 6 tourists is about going on an expedition that they will not soon forget.
No seat belt for the middle seat in the back. This can be a small problem in case of a shock.
Romain, 27 years old, is a bit tense. The young Lyonnaise is a regular on sports trips, but on this day, he leads with a handicap.
I hurt my ankle the day before yesterday, so let's see. I have sticks for walking.
Bob and Johan, 2 Germans in their 20s, are more relaxed.
It's going to be a great adventure, a great experience. I'm just afraid of being too hot and not enough water. We'll see. It will be a surprise.
The group booked in this agency, one of the cheapest in the city, a 3-day stay. 350 euros per person, accommodation and meals included. Israel, the boss, will be their guide. The program promises to be very full.
5 hours drive.
We'll be driving for 5 hours. At sunset, we'll go up to the volcano. The next morning, we will go back down as soon as possible, before it gets too hot.
The 4 UED cars are loaded with dozens of bottles of water, mattresses, and food. For this expedition, everything must be planned, because the area is desert, and this is not the only risk.
Is this trip dangerous?
No.
There is no danger. Security measures are in place. Guards, just in case there's still a problem, as there was 2 years ago.
Like 2 years ago.
What happened?
There are some tourists who have been kidnapped. They were Germans.
On that expedition 5 years ago, 5 European tourists had been killed near the Eritrean border, a country with which relations have been very tense for many decades. First step of this expedition, the Eldorado volcano, still active. To get there, the group will travel 200 kilometers in the Danakil Desert, known to be the hottest on the planet. Very quickly, the 4 WD car leave the asphalt for the track and its chaotic roads.
It's like driving over rocks. These are lava rocks. It's really hard.
It's quite difficult.
The mechanics do not resist for long. In the middle of the desert, a first breakdown.
Yes, it's only the drive belt.
Problems are coming.
I think so.
The point is hot here. It's over 40 degrees for sure, with dust, of course. There's not much around. Come on, guys, let's go.
To make his business profitable, Israel has planned this expedition with few resources. Old cars and a lot of improvisation. In total, it will take more than 9 hours and 3 breakdowns to cover the 200 kilometers. It is 9 p.m. The group finally arrives at the foot of the volcano. Romain is exhausted, but it is not yet time to rest.
We need a good little nap, maybe get a night's sleep before you start, but I think we're about to start.
A small snack to regain strength before a 3-hour trek. Dromedaries are there to carry the equipment, and an armed guard escorts the group.
Kalashnikov?
Yeah, it's a Kalashnikov. It is to protect you in case something happens. You never know.
In this sensitive area, the Ethiopian government pays guards to prevent kidnappings. The crater is 610 meters above sea level. The ascent is done at night in order to escape the heat. Here, it is sometimes more than 50 degrees in full sun.
It looks like volcanic ash with some vegetation, which seems a little burnt out anyway.
3 hours walking, but the journey is worth it. In the middle of the darkness, the Eldorado volcano, one of the largest in the world.
Look at this. It's incandescent. It's impressive.
Here, no security measures, no barriers. The tourists are just a few centimeters away from the crater and bubbling lava, over 1,200 degrees. In 2005, an eruption cost the lives of 250 local residents. Regularly, lavas spring out, but not enough to slow down travel agencies which keep bringing tourists there.
It's crazy. It's incredible. It's like being at the center of the earth.
You can go inside the middle of the earth.
Adrenaline, this is what tourists come to Ethiopia for. So to give them the big thrill and earn a few euros, more and more locals do not hesitate to risk their lives. In this desert province in eastern Ethiopia, every night, with his loaded wheelbarrow, this farmer goes to meet strange visitors.
I'm coming. Come on, over here, my babies.
At night, dozens of hyenas wait for their meal. These predators with impressive jaws abound in Ethiopia and are the cause of many accidents. There is a tradition here that hyenas be fed by men so that they do not kill the livestock.
Each one of you, be careful.
This unique show has become an attraction for tourists who pay €5 per person. John is from Washington.
It's wild. I would never have thought of finding myself so near hyenas. It's really fascinating.
To protect holidaymakers, a policeman armed with a Kalashnikov. He says he has never used it. Yusuf, the trainer, was bitten by a hyena at the age of 2. Since then, he decided to tame them.
Little by little, these hyenas became domesticated animals. I've been with them since they were babies. I now consider them my own children.
Thanks to his show, Yusuf earns €200. 7 times the average Ethiopian salary in a single evening. The next day, after a very short night, the tourists have resumed their journey of the extreme. The guide wants to show the group a curiosity. A unique sight in the world, very difficult to access, with the heat so suffocating. 30 minutes walking in 50 degrees, but in the end...
Wow, it's incredible.
Das sieht wahnsinnig aus.
Before them lay the Dowel, an acidic volcano dotted with multicolored minerals of geysers, but also mountains of sulfur and pools of acid. The most inhospitable and hottest place on the planet.
It's very dangerous because it's very, very hot, and there are sulfuric acid gases coming from the ground. Here you should not stay longer than 20 minutes.
Toxic sulfur dioxide, stifling heat. With this visit, the group of tourists is put to the test. Romain, the Frenchman, is feeling the pinch.
You have to be a traveler who used to difficult conditions, difficult hygiene conditions. Problems, it's a region with a very hostile climate. I was kind of expecting it, but maybe not as much. No time to breathe. We have to get back on the road to admire another curiosity.
After an hour of 4x4, a radical change of scenery with this 100 square kilometer salt lake.
This is the first time I've seen a salt lake. That's pretty impressive.
Beyond a landscape, this visit allows them to discover the other face of Ethiopia. The extremely difficult living conditions of the population. In this very poor region, the inhabitants live mainly from the salt trade. In the sunshine, in the middle of this quarry, a dozen squatting men work 8 hours a day. They cut blocks of salt to sell to caravanners in 45-degree heat.
These men are from the Afar ethnic group. That's how they work, using traditional tools. There is not a single modern machine or tool. Look at the process. They hit the ground, then they separate the salt blocks like this. Do you want to try?
It's very hard, very tiring. I couldn't last long, especially in this heat. It's hot now, and he asks us for water. In terms of working conditions, it's not a great job.
Mohammed is 40 years old and has been working here for 20 years.
Which is difficult with this job, is that the sun is beating down on my head. That's what gave me gray hair. There is also salt that irritates my feet. It's not good for your health. The sun is terrible. All of this hurts a little bit everywhere.
Mohammed sells each block of salt for 15 cents. They are then loaded onto the camels. Then the caravanners take the road, 3 to 4 days of travel on foot, to go and sell their cargo in town. Despite the economic miracle, poverty has not disappeared. On the outskirts of cities, it even tends to increase because the government is expropriating peasants from the countryside. In Ethiopia, 80% of the population lives on livestock or on coffee and cereal crops. In recent months, in the name of economic development, the state confiscates farmers' land for resale to foreign companies and builds gigantic industrial complexes. Stripped of their property, the peasants find themselves destitute, without resources. Last winter, they revolted. They opposed an expansion project of the capital that was encroaching on their land. The police opened fire. According to Human Rights Watch, 400 people were killed. Since then, the revolt has continued to grow. A dozen foreign companies were burned. Ransacked hotels. According to Amnesty International, the authorities arrested 10,000 protesters and killed over 800 people since 2015. A tense political situation that could threaten the economic miracle. We wanted to meet these expropriated farmers.
Can we go inside?
This family man owned 150 hectares of land on which he grew cereals and vegetables. He refuses to testify in open court because he's afraid of being arrested and incarcerated. Mandated by the government, the local police took everything from him.
In fact, they've harassed us for 4 months. They have come and gone several times. It was unbearable. We were under pressure. We were forced to give away our land. You know, our whole life is based on agriculture. We don't know how to do anything else.
He says he received less than 1,000 euros, a small compensation, because he has to provide for his entire family. Today, he carries people in his cart, a livelihood that earns him a few euros a month. But poverty and land confiscation are not the only dangers facing Ethiopian farmers. The country is hit by a drought on a scale almost never seen before. 10 million people at risk of losing their food supply in the coming weeks. 30 years after the famine that put Ethiopia in the headlines, this scourge has still not disappeared. The survival of a part of the population in the east and north of the country is now dependent on international humanitarian aid. As a result, more and more farmers are migrating to find work in the brand new factories. They join the ranks of the underprivileged who flock to the capital. Today, 1 in 3 Ethiopians lives on less than $1.50 a day. In the streets, old men, women, children, all beggars.
Please buy some of my tissues.
Others shoot up with glue. A reality far from the idyllic image that the authorities wish to disseminate.
Get up. Say El Hiordu Petit Dejuna.
Turn off the camera.
For trying to film these children, our filming will be interrupted by the police and will be threatened with eviction. The press in Ethiopia is under surveillance. The government probably prefers to focus on conquering Ethiopia. The successful one, the one that brings foreign capital into the country.